What's up everyone, welcome to Among the Fence, my YouTube channel where I do music reviews. My name is Aaron and today we're going to be checking out the new album Darker Still by the band Parkway Drive. For those of you who don't know who they are an Australian metalcore band who people just love to hate. They've been around since 2003 and their debut album Killing with a Smile, which is considered to be more deathcore than anything else, was recorded in just under 2 weeks and with the help of Adam D from Killswitch Engage, and it was released in 2005. Then they released Horizons in 2007 and Deep Blue in 2010, which are some of the best metalcore albums to this day. And this time of releasing great music was short-lived though, as they released Atlas in 2012, which basically marked their decline. It's not really a bad album, but it's definitely missing that special thing that made fans fall in love with the band in their earlier work. A lot of fans, in fact I'd be willing to say about 90% of fans, turned away from the band with the releases of Ire and Reverence in 2015 and 2018. Both were basically just as mainstream metalcore as you could possibly get, with different vocal choices and musical choices that didn't really make a whole lot of sense. The music was probably the biggest letdown, I'd say. It just felt very soulless and it didn't really offer anything memorable. It didn't really bring fans back to listen to anything more than once. And with their 7th album release of Darker Still, I'd say that we're all hoping that that will change and there will be something on this album that is memorable, something that wants to bring us back to it. The album opens up with the song Ground Zero, which has this lullaby kind of tune in the intro. Then the song explodes as he yells explode. It gets pretty cringy as the vocalist then yells drop the beat in the interlude kind of section before going into the verse. The melody that hangs out in the background is pretty decent. And overall, the sound of the song isn't really bad, but the lyrics are just so cliche and they're very lazy, especially in the chorus. The message of this song is also not too bad, it's just super repetitive. Then we have the song Light Napalm, which has a solid riff and a wah effect in the intro. The groove is pretty good and the heaviness is definitely there. However, the lyrics don't really make any sense whatsoever. It's just a bunch of cliche things to say. It's short, but this song drags on so much due to the repetitiveness. Then we have the song Glitch, which is about sleep paralysis and night terrors and the glitch that happens in your brain that makes these nightmares become reality. It has a cool stompy riff in the verse. The vocals are a little cliche, especially in the pre-chorus, and the chorus has a very generic hook to it. The lyrics this time aren't really that bad. It's just their delivery. The vocals are just not there. The bridge is just a build up to a breakdown, which is very generic sounding. Overall, it's just kind of a boring radio song, which it's one of the singles that was released, so it kind of makes sense. Then we have the song The Greatest Fear, which is basically about death and how it's not something that should be feared because it's something that connects us all. It has this dramatic intro and I honestly really do dig the riff, but in my heart I know it's not really anything special. The vocal delivery is kind of weird and it feeds into the dramatics. The chorus is silly and lazy, as is the songwriting and the lyrics. This sounds like a song that would have been written by like a earlier heavy metal band like Testament or something like that, like a band from the 80s that's still trying to stay relevant today. I feel like this is a song that they would write. Then we have the song Darker Still, which touches on just how bad the world is. It's super original. It has this long instrumental intro. It's got like this ballad kind of feel with low cleans in the verse. The chorus is basically the same exact thing, just with like a solo and a flute, I think. The post-chorus reminds me a lot of the song Unforgiven by Metallica. Even the vocals get a little gritty, just like James Hetfield's vocals would have. And to top it all off, it's got a guitar solo with tons of wah in there as well. Then we have the song Imperial Heretic, which has another intro riff with some wah added in there. The vocals are kind of silly with chanting between the distorted vocals. And the distorted vocal choices aren't really that great either, mainly at the end of the chorus. Honestly, this is just kind of a bad song, mostly due to the lyrics and the vocals. And then we have If a God Can Bleed, which is probably the worst song that Parkway Drive has ever written. The vocal choices are god-awful, the music is extremely boring, and the lyrics just, I mean, they suck. I'm shocked that the producer or any of the band members or the label or anybody who was involved in writing this song didn't stop them. And like, I don't know. It's just such a weird situation where a band writes a horrible song like this and it gets past everybody somehow. But it does have a really nice segue into the next song, Soul Beach. That's easily the best song on this album, but still, it's still just barely even a good song that's worth more than maybe 1 or 2 listens. Mainly, again, to the lyrics and the vocals. It's just so silly, and yet they're taking it so seriously. And like the bridge and the breakdown are a perfect example of just how silly these lyrics are and how seriously they're taking it. I mean, overall musically, it's a pretty fun song, but the lyrics they just kill it. Then we have this song, Stranger, which is kind of a pointless interlude sort of thing, but this is by far the best lyrics on the entire album. And then we have the song Land of the Lost. It's got like the same kind of melody in the intro as all the other songs before it. The verse is kind of weird with weird like vocal layering thing. I think it's supposed to make it sound demonic or something like that, I think. And honestly, the lyrics in this song aren't really that bad either, except for like the first part of the chorus, which is kind of silly. The song overall really isn't that bad. It's just really repetitive. For instance, you'll hear keep digging. He will tell you to keep digging in this song 21 times. Then we have the closing track, From the Heart of Darkness. It has oohs in the intro, you know, like the thing that the Spartans chant in 300, a movie that's like 15, 20 years old now. Like I said, all these songs are basically like an old heavy metal band wrote them, and they're just taking themselves so seriously, and it's just so laughable. It's like a dad metal or a dad rock band at this point, complete with a guitar solo that is less than inspiring. I guess you could say this is a good closing track, considering how corny the rest of the album was. I'm really struggling trying to find anything in this that's praiseworthy. I guess you could say the production isn't bad, and neither is like the heavier moments on this album, but they're not really good. I mean, they're basically just average, I guess you could say, which makes them not bad and not really great. So I guess that's something that you can consider to be praiseworthy. The lyrics and the vocals completely kill this album 100%. If they were different, better in any way, honestly, then this album would at least be average, I guess. Vocal choices and delivery are just absolutely cringy, and the lyrics are all just cliche phrases with no deep meaning to them, no originality, just nothing. It's like a book of a bunch of cliche sayings turned into music. And musically, it's also very repetitive, almost as repetitive as the lyrics are. All the lead melodies are basically going to be repeated again throughout all of the songs. They all sound the same. Even all the heavier parts that I said aren't really that bad, they're all basically the same riff over and over again. This is by far one of the worst albums that Parkway Drive has released, and I'd be willing to say it's one of the worst metalcore albums. I mean, even fans that like progression and newer stuff, like there's those Wage War fans that really love the heavy stuff and they hate the newer stuff that they've come out with. But you gotta admit, the newer stuff they come out with, it isn't really that bad. It's just not something that you're into. You know, I mean, it's not, they've changed music genres, but they're still doing a good job at that. And I feel like Parkway Drive I feel like they just missed it. Like, we're all for about change, and we're all about maturing and growing and trying out new things. But this just ain't it. Yeah. So with all that said, I got to give Darker Still by Parkway Drive a 3.7 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys think. I'm sure that there's a lot of fans out there that still love this album, so I'm prepared for a lot of people to tell me how much I suck and my opinion is stupid and I'm stupid and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, leave your comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the album. Let me know what you would rate it, and let me know why your favorite song is Soul Beach, I guess. And while you're down there, don't forget to let me know what you want me to review next. If you did enjoy this review, don't forget to give it a like. If you didn't, of course, always feel free to give it a dislike, but at the same time, let me know why you disagree with me, why you think this album is better. Maybe I just missed something somehow. And yeah, and if you want to see more of my videos, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon. Doing all that stuff helps me out tremendously. Even if you just take the time out of your day to listen to me talk. I just want to let you know I appreciate you more than you could ever imagine. And I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, whenever you happen to be watching this. And I will talk to you guys next time.
I was